Question. Here's my question for you. Elderly people seem to be wiser, not because I'm 77 and saying this, just the intuition. And the intuition itself may come as you get older. The theory, I use the word theory as the word to explain, but it's intuition is that when you get older, you have so much scars, and you know what to not to do. General tendency. If you look at the population of criminals, there are lots of men. I think the ratio may be 90 to 10 or some such huge difference. Crime zone, X and Y, whatever the gene structure, the difference, and these things can happen. So women tend to be, at least in the past, more conservative, and men are more adventurous. Me, in the direction of adventure, like my father, but I have some mother end in me, and she has been a very quiet person. So I go back and forth. Not to say this is good, but that's just, I feel the way I am. So, wise men, back to the story. Elder people have lots of scars. They went through CAPD many times, check act plan 2, and learn the lesson. If you look at the young kids, they're wild. They do lots of stuff and they cry and keep on doing things, and then eventually they get a little wised up. But if that happens at the early age, why not happening throughout the man's life? Toward the end of life, like in my case, I'm careful, much more careful, so I spend more time. My ex-wife said, looking at her father, this father of her was so careful and slow to make a decision. And I see the same within me. And instead of doing 20 things or 10, I try to cut it to important 3, and even that I may procrastinate. I posted the video, procrastination is not bad, because if you're stopping, you have more time to go deeper, to connect to the unconscious part of who you are, get the inspiration or intuition out of it, and that happens so much time. So like a Zen koan, I feel like I can pass more koans very easily, and I explain as much as possible, because explaining is possibly helpful for me to clarify what's important in the mind, and the mind usage of the brain make it better. So Joriki, continuous power, steady power that I apply in living, and go step at a time. And if you go 3 steps, you go back 5 steps even. Just like I mentioned the tree analogy, that if tree expand the branches, something goes wrong, and they reallocate the energy to the direction that you have less chance of breaking your branch. And all trees, therefore, have gone through that to be long-lived tree. And you almost adore or respect or pray or want to be close, just the feel of it. Also, all men tend to be quiet. Okay, I shouldn't say just old men, old women the same, but me being man, maybe less of a man than when I was young, but I feel that. What was I saying? As a man, getting old, becoming cautious, prioritize what's important and don't go near where you may die. To the point, actually, this is an interesting thing I noticed, to the point of just doing nothing. And this is profound, and you may not believe it. But if you feel doing nothing and comfortable, relaxed, and be happy, and you don't need anything to chase women or whatever, here there are lots of bikinis, and I'm not chasing. I mean, how much energy do I have, and if I chase, what's the point, right? But when you're young, you want to try this, try that, eat this dish and that dish and this way and that way, this country, that country. That's what I did, from nuclear to business and Zen and whatever happened in my life and living in different countries. And now I'm talking, probably you may think this is like a nonsense, but especially in today's world, and things are changing quickly, you have to be careful. And that's part of the reason why, no, I don't want to preach or anything. If you do your best and it doesn't work, that's fine. It's your life. But there's a sense of like a womanly, if you call that. A woman may do a lot for the little son or daughter, and the men do the same. But women are closer to the kids than men, typically. And like I may have said somewhere, that at her very late years of her life, my mother was praying. I heard that she's praying this direction where I live and pray, that direction for my brother, and she pray, and this direction with her daughter to pray. Every day, she said she does that. How many men would do that? I say may all beings be happy. It's coming more and more strong, and that's the main purpose, if you want to call that. And with that, for some reason, perhaps reflecting the nature's way, I feel more energized rather than chasing something like a mirage. You had enough of it, and like I said, doing nothing and feeling comfortable. That's profound. And if you remember this story, and if you happen to be getting into Zen and going to the koan or zazen, sitting, it's up to you. You may get the sense of doing nothing. You get so much learning out of a life. And if that's true, that wisdom and compassion, because you're compassionate to yourself, to not abuse yourself, no wonder they can live long. I want to live well. I want to see if I live long. I want to take a look at this video. That's what I said when I was 77. And I want to say, that's still too young. He doesn't get it. Well, I'm kind of joking, playful. But there's something. There's totally something. How we can access that unknown power within us and even think of direction, may all beings be happy, yet you're okay. Death may be a comfortable situation. If you do your best and accept it with no mind, no self, at peace. I said this somewhere. Nakayama-san, I've known many years. He passed away at the hospital. He was talking with the doctor, and a few minutes later the doctor looked at him, Nakayama-san, and he was gone. That's pretty good. You may be young, don't think of such a thing, but this is just a reference. If you're the young person listening to this, enjoy your life. It's okay to explore life. Going crazy may be okay if you learn from that. Take care.